welcome back to the madness. Oh my God, people. Let me tell you, we have stories upon stories upon stories. Okay, so, what a weekend. It's Monday. It's a holiday, yeah. My last Memorial Day, I have to work. Yes, I will be counting. Well, I think that's the last holiday that I'll be counting down. Oh, Labor Day, but I never worked Labor Day, so. And I never worked 4th of July. Anyways, so, guess what happened last night? Someone tried to, now I can't say they tried to break into our house, but they did break into my car. The only thing in my car that he got was my phone charger. Which kind of sucks because I'm not sure if I have an extra one in my purse. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I do know I have extras at home, but there's gonna be one more. I always sneeze in threes or more. So yeah, that should be the last one because that was the hardest one. So God, so. Yeah, I had to really get out and go to work, so I couldn't run back in the house to grab another phone charger. But so last night it was about 11:30 midnight. It was in between that time, and John calls me and I'm like, yes, and he's like, someone's looking in the windows. I'm like, what? So I screamed, someone's looking in the windows. Becca jumped up because I had all my cross stitching on me, so I couldn't just jump up, you know. So she jumps up, runs outside. I jump up, run outside after I clear my lap off. And I asked the guy, I said, what are you doing? Can I help you with something? He's like, oh, just dropping a package off over here. And I'm like, where's the package? Because there was no package on the porch. And you could tell my neighbors were asleep. There was not a damn light on in their house. He's like, oh, you already got it. I said, there's no lights on. You know, if you're going to answer the door in the middle of the night, you're going to just flip on a light, right? So the guy, so we live 3 houses from the corner. So the guy took off towards the corner, and when you turn the corner and walk down that street, you actually can see inside my backyard. So, as this is all happening, the guy takes off down the street. Now, he's not running, but he's walking quite fast. All of a sudden, I hear John start screaming and yelling at the guy in the backyard, telling him he's gonna blow his fucking head off and blah blah blah, you know. So I thought John was just exaggerating, because trust me, John exaggerates, especially when he watches the surveillance cameras. He sees things that he doesn't see. So the next thing I know, John is running out of the house and he jumps in his car. I do the going in front of the car, not letting him leave, because I don't want him to go to jail for kicking the guy's ass if, you know, there was no reason to kick the guy's ass. Well, now I wish I would have just let him go, because when he got home, I told him, I said, I want to see the surveillance. And he rewound it, and it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. The guy comes to my big window. You know, when I pull in and out of my house, you see the 3 tall windows that are like all together. Now, I was really scared more than I should have been, but I'm still scared, because I usually keep, when I'm in the living room, I keep the one curtain open so I can see when someone approaches the porch and the front door. Well, oh, you know what? I need to tell John that Yeah, I got an idea. Okay, so you guys gotta hold on a second. Okay, so I just called John and told him that he needs to go to Home Depot because I want a motion sensor light for the front porch. Anyways, so when I saw the surveillance, what I thought was happening, but it's still okay. So anyways, let me just say the story. The guy comes walking up to the front door and he looks in. Now the curtains were only open a little, but when he looked in, all he was staring at was Becca in the chair. He was staring at Becca. Then he went over to my son's window, which is the other window on the front of the house. He stared in there, and then he came over to the passenger side of my car, which now we know he opened the door and stole my phone charger. Then he walked, because I saw him open the door, but it was so fast, I didn't think he got anything out of there. He was fast, really. He got my phone charger. He checked the doors on my, he was looking in my car, that's right. Then he passed going towards my backyard, which is John's old car. He looked in John's old car, which there's nothing in there. He came back, got the phone charger, and at that time, by then Becca was running out the door, and then I was out the door. So he didn't have a chance to ransack my car because my change is all still in here. And of course I make it easy for a thief. It's all in a cup, so you can just grab the cup. Anyways. But it was just scary seeing, and it wasn't like he just peeped in the window. He stood there for 10 seconds. Count to 10. That's a long ass time looking at Becca in the window. Yeah, so the cops came, and the cops were like, "We've been here before, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You're Fort Knox. You're Fort Knox." And I'm like, I look at him. He's like, "You got cameras everywhere." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I've been here to look at your surveillance before." I'm like, "Oh yeah, when the 2 houses down got broke into and they stole the Xbox." He's like, "Yeah, I remember your sister." So they walk out. The cops see the shotgun on the bed, and he's like, he looks at John, he goes, "So did you scare the shit out of him?" John's like, "I sure hope so." Like, if I saw, because we explained that as they were walking back to see their surveillance, you know, we told them the scenarios and how John was in the backyard screaming at him. And the cop saw the gun on the bed and put 2 and 2 together that he was screaming with them with the gun. Or the shotgun. Same thing, it's a gun, right? Okay. So, but, yeah, that was that interesting story. Okay, we'll be out in a minute. Okay, I am back. Yeah, so, that all happened. Like I said, the cops didn't leave until 12:30. And I was so wired. You know, that's a lot of adrenaline. You know, when you get scared, the adrenaline. I can't say the word. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I was like hyped up. Couldn't go to sleep until it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. Okay, what's something else that happened this weekend was, I think it was Friday, or it could have been Thursday. I, went on Amazon and was looking, because I know when your female dogs, it's their time of the month, they have, you know, like diapers to put on them. So I wanted to know if they had diapers for, you know, when you're training a dog, if it would work the same, because I remember watching some show, it was probably one of the Real Housewives, and they had a diaper on their dog. So I'm like, okay, you know what, let me just Google it, or go on Amazon and just, I put in diaper for, and it said dogs, and I was like, oh. So it's actually called a diaper, but then I'm like, well, I can still be called a diaper. And then it said for males, and I'm like, yes. So I ordered them. They came in yesterday. Yesterday. That was a big stuttering mess right there. Saying yes and yesterday at the same time. Yeah. Okay, anyways. So put one on Bobo right away. And within 20 minutes, I saw him. Oh, here's John. So, put the diaper on Bobo. Not even 20 minutes later, I see him squatting. And I'm like, because you can't tell when Bobo's peeing or it's just taking him a long time to get down to the floor, you know? Or if he's just sniffing something, I don't know. Until you walk in the frickin' piss and then you're like, oh, he was peeing, you know? Because there's been plenty of times that I've tried to stop him and he wasn't actually peeing, you know? So whatever. So he started toddling off and he walked right past Becca. I said, Becca, pick him up and see if, no, it was Jonathan. I said, Jonathan, pick him up and see if the diaper's wet. He's like, oh my God, yes. I'm like, He was just peeing. Trying to pee. Oh no, that's not it. See, I keep messing up this part of the story. He toddled off, and then all of a sudden, he's scraping his belly against the floor. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? I'm like, oh, I bet you he just peed and is trying to get the diaper off. Then I said, Jonathan, because he was right by Jonathan, pick him up and see if that diaper's wet. He's like, oh my God, it's soaking wet. I'm like, yep, he just peed there and then he toddled over here to try to get it off of him. Well, let me tell you, all night long, every 2 to 3 hours, we would take the dogs out, take Bobo's diaper off, check it, no pee. He actually peed outside because this was the problem. We would put him outside, make him stay out there, till he came back to the door, which it was always like 5-10 minutes. Because then Toby's ready to come in. Bring him back in, and he would squat. He would walk in the door and squat and pee right there at our feet. It's like, seriously, dog? You know? So, why am I on the expressway? So, every time we checked the diaper, it was dry. Then this morning, my brainiac husband let the dogs outside and didn't take Bobo's diaper off. So when they came back in the house, because they were going outside as I was getting in the shower, and then when I got out of the shower, they were back in the house. And I asked John, I said, oh, was Bobo's diapers wet this morning? He's like, oh, I don't know, I haven't checked. I said, you let the dogs outside this morning? He's like, yeah. I said, you didn't take off the diaper? Oh crap, I forgot to take off the diaper. Well, of course the diaper's gonna be wet. You send the dog outside. So who knows if it was wet before he went outside or after he went outside. But Bobo has a clean diaper on now. But I am loving this. Putting a diaper on Bobo. I almost said put a diaper on John because I just got a message that John left the house. One of these days I'll have to put a diaper on John. No. God, I hope not. Yeah, so it's working. So John is leaving the house to go get carpet cleaner to clean my freaking carpets. Because, yeah. I know he's old and I should give him a little leeway. Well, the diapers are the compromise now. Because it's getting so bad that you could not walk in the living room without stepping in it. And I told John, because he couldn't understand why, I think it was Thursday, why I was getting so mad. I'm like, you know what? You wear slippers. We don't wear slippers. So why don't you take your slippers off for an hour and walk through the living room and our bedroom? Then you'll see why we're so pissed. Because we're stepping in piss. And you clean it up, but you can't. When a dog pees on the carpet, oh my gosh, they tore down the strip club. That is so crazy. And they put a Dairy Queen. Oh God, that's funny. That makes me chuckle. That strip club, they've been battling the city for a good, probably 15 years now. Well, who knows how long the Dairy Queen's been there. I don't come on this side of town very often. But I know it wasn't there last year, so. Because the mayor took their, what had happened was, they were doing construction when we had our old mayor, and they got, their permits approved and everything, so did their construction. It took them like 6 months, a year, because they did they tore things out and everything. And once they were ready to open, then they had to reapply for their liquor license. And the new mayor was like, no, we don't want a strip club in our area. And wouldn't give them the liquor license. Which, it was called John John's. John John's was here for years and years, decades. And for a mayor to just be like, nope, you're not getting it. I don't want a strip club in my city anymore. That was rude. So anyways, okay, so that was Bobo's diaper story, which he's not, the diaper isn't irritating him or anything. Now he knows just not to pee in the house. Win-win for all of us. I gotta remember today when I get home to show you my car. I told you in the last video that John caught my car on fire. It smells like a campfire in here, and yes, part of my seat is burnt, part of my insert. So okay, my car doesn't have a trunk. It has like this hatch, and so, well, it has a trunk, but it's weird. So you know how you would open a trunk door and there's your trunk? Well, you open my hatch and you pick up the insert and there's my trunk. Well, the insert is this awesome divided thing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like this big styrofoam divided organizing pockets. I don't know. I'll show it to you because that got burned too. Well, if I don't have that in my car, I really can't deliver flowers because that's where the flowers go. So when he called me and told me that he caught my insert on fire, I started crying. He's like, you'll still be able to use it. I'm like, okay. Because I don't know how I'm supposed to deliver in that car anymore if I don't have the insert. Which, I mean, it would have been an easy fix. John would have just gotten wood and built me something for my car, you know. He's awesome with building and wood and all that. So, but, oh, it's Memorial Day. So, yeah, I guess the cemetery would be packed today, wouldn't it? Something probably just went down. There's 4 cop cars that just went by, all clustered together. Or they're going somewhere, but they don't have the lights on. And the K9 was with them. So, what had happened was, or maybe I should stop you now because I don't know if you can see through these. This is another story. I have to be doing this for like, well, 2.5 more weeks. I have to come to this store, which is BS. But you'll hear that story when I get back. Okay, gotta remember, what story am I on? I am on, oh shoot, what story am I on? Oh, the car fire, that's right. Okay, the car catching on fire story. So, it was about 2 years ago. John, now I don't know the whole story about the shock. John tried to replace my shock, or he did replace my shocks in the back. And somehow a bolt got stuck or something. And he tried taking it to 4 different places to try to get them to remove the bolt, and no one would. So then finally he found a place that would weld it so it would stop rattling. And that lasted for a good 6 months, and then the weld broke off. So for the last year, you know how I always say that rattle, which apparently you guys can't hear, but I know what to listen for, so when I listen back to a video, I really hear it, and it annoys the heck out of me. So anyways, which you guys wouldn't realize anyways, but there's no rattle! There's no rattle whatsoever, and my shock is actually working back there. Because finally, John and his brother had the brilliant idea of going to his house, and, well, first John bought this tool, a drumnal or something like that, and more powerful than the one that Becca is using. And I get a text that it broke his drumnal. And I was like, oh, okay. So, next thing I know, well, it's about 3 hours later, I get a text. I caught your car on fire, but everything's okay. Say what? You cannot just say, I caught your car on fire, but everything's okay. Thank you for letting me know everything's okay, because if you would have just ended that with, I caught your car on fire, it would have been even a bigger phone call than what you got. But, I call him, and finally, I had to call him like 3 or 4 times. Finally, he answered, and I said, what do you mean my car got caught on fire? Does it still drive? He's like, yep. Your trunk, your seatbelt, half of your seat, and your insert caught on fire. Okay. I said, and how did this happen? He said, well, you know, I broke my tool, and I brought it over here to Jerry so he could help me fix it. And what they figured is that they had to take a blowtorch to it to warm up the bolts so that they could get the bolts out. Thank God. Thank God my husband was actually using his brain 5 minutes before he caught my car on fire. He thought, let me bring over a hose and have the water running so if it does catch on fire, I can put the fire out. Well, it caught on fire, and he said, Becky, if I didn't have that hose right there to pick up and put on the fire, your car would have been gone. Because think about it, the gas tank is right where they were. My gas tank would have exploded. I'd say 1 minute longer, if you'll see the damage. 1 minute longer, and my gas tank would have been next. So, but he was smart, and he had the hose, and he was put it out, and it's no problem. But yeah, it's burnt. It is burnt. Okay. Looking for 4720. And I want to say it's probably where all these people are standing outside, but you never know. It's looking like it could be. Is it? Nope. So, that was the fire story. I thought there was one more story that I needed to tell you that happened. I don't know. Okay, so what else has happened this weekend? Oh, yeah, that's right. My job. So, because of the pandemic, and now we have been extended to June 12th stay-at-home order, which nobody's staying home. People who just don't have to work, but they're traveling and breaking. Oh, I don't know which way I'm supposed to turn. Oh, she said left. That's right. Okay. Breaking the rules. You see teenagers just hanging out at the schools. It's ridiculous. No one is following the stay-at-home order. Me and John are. Our family is, when we're not forced to be working. But because there's the still stay-at-home order, the driver for the Boring 2 store is refusing to come back, claiming because it's not enough deliveries, but it's only 2 less than his normal. So that's a bunch of BS. Me and John are forced to do that store. So I made an agreement that at 12 o'clock I would go over to that store. As you saw, it was 12 o'clock when I was pulling up, to pick up one order, the day's order, and deliver them. Now, if I tell you guys, it's hard to tell you guys, like, you wouldn't understand Hall Road to Belle Isle. That doesn't make sense to you. So, if I would have to guess, it's probably Hall Road to 10 Mile is 10 miles there. So then 10, I would say it has to be 25 miles going north to south. And I would say probably 15 miles going east to west is my area. Sure, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you were to map it out on a map, I have the biggest area in the east. I think I even have a bigger area than the west side, one hub taken care of. I cover a lot of territory. So they wanted to add another hubs area into what I already have. Now on a busy day, my area, if there's time deliveries, it's very hard. Now you're going to add a whole nother hub. Can't say store because it's a hub, which that covers 2 stores. Into it, that's a lot. So it's putting a lot of stress on me. Here's the prime example. On a normal day, I work from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's usually my standard. Now, there's a lot of days that I get called in early and then I work real late. Our store hours are normally 8 to 8. Well, with the pandemic, our store hours are 9 to 6. So, hold on, I'm trying to get my temper under control. So, the other day, the first time I did the 2 hubs, I could have been done at 2:30. But because I had to keep going out of my area to the other areas because of time deliveries, I didn't get home until 6:30. It was a waste of my time and it was a waste of my gas for 5 deliveries. No one seems to care. We're all just chipping in and we're trying to work this out. Whatever. So, Friday I get a phone call saying, well, a text, and then it got into a phone call, that on Sundays I would have to do all the pickups at the Warren 2 location. To go from Warren 2 to my area is adding on an extra 30 minutes. To have to keep going back to Warren 2 to pick up my deliveries to go in my area, if I do that 4 times, that's an extra 2 hours on top of everything else that you're piling on me. No. I can't, and John works Sundays. I can't ask my husband to do that. So I told the person, I can't beg my husband to do that. And I got into this whole... See, people like to pinpoint on words and then just focus on those words. So all I kept being told is I shouldn't have to beg anyone to do anything. There's other people who are willing to do this job, and we shouldn't have to beg anyone. And I said, fine, then that means I have to work. And the whole thing was that they couldn't make this other employee work 6 days a week. So that's why I would have to go to Warren 2 on Sundays and just deliver out of their store. I said, so what you're saying is I have to work 6 days a week because I can't beg my husband to do this. So now I have to work 6 days a week because you don't want to make this other person work 6 days a week. That's not fair. So I was basically told, well, we shouldn't have to beg people to do things. And I said, you know what? I'm not using names, okay? So I'll use a fake name. Alice, don't you work with your husband? Aren't there certain things that you're like, oh crap, I don't want to tell, we'll use John, that he has to go do this, because then he's going to get pissy with me, and he'll be pissy at work, and then when we get home, he'll be pissy. she said, yeah, I understand that. But then went back to saying we shouldn't have to beg anyone to do anything. I said, then I'm working 6 days a week, and that's not fair to me because Pretty Princess won't work on a Sunday. And that was a whole fight. So, 9-3. Okay, we gotta go down the road some more. So she's like, well, you know, there are other people who will do this. I can pick up the phone and have someone else do this. Why don't you and your husband just take Sundays off and have that day together for the next couple of weeks? Okay, wait, I can't think and tell the story. Okay, here we go. So it ended up where, well, hold on, I'll just come back and tell you. Okay, at one point through, the conversation was like a half an hour. At one point, it sounded like she was threatening to fire John, and it was a lot of BS, really. If I didn't already have it in my head that I'm quitting my job, the latest I will be working there is mid-October. That conversation would have sealed it. It got so heated that at one point I was ready to say, you know what, then you can find drivers to do it from now on. Because I am so sick of how this company runs. It depends on who you are. No one is treated equally. And if they know they can shit on you, they're gonna shit on you. And you know what? Me and John are sick of being shit on. So finally I stand up and say no. And it was basically a threat that, well, we'll just find someone else. Okay, fine. Find someone else. I'm like, I'm so over it. So over it. And see, this is the thing. I told them that, you know, during the shutdown that I don't feel comfortable working. The governor says we should be shut down. I feel like me and John shouldn't be exposing ourselves because I have extreme asthma or serious asthma or whatever you want to call it. You guys, you had to hear that I have asthma. Sometimes I walk just through my house and I have to catch my damn breath. So they all know that I have asthma. John has diabetes, asthma, heart disease. He's got the mother load. If he gets it, we all better pray for him because, yeah. But anyways, the Warrant 2 driver says that he has health issues and he still has a job and doesn't have to worry about his job. I say it and basically are told, well, you still want to work here, don't you? So basically, if you want to work here, then you need to just do your job. Your job won't be held for you. Because my job is the best, my area is the best area. So, you know, whatever. So done. So done. Which me and John were looking at our finances again. And we might have, oh shoot, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, I'm supposed to turn this way. It's just a little niche, so on the GPS it didn't show it. We should have our credit cards paid off by August, and we decided we are going to work the whole month of August and then quit September if everything works out how we think it's going to work out. I said, let's not be stupid and quit in August and not have a cushion for ourselves. We are both gonna, well, I don't think he is, but But I know I'm going out and getting another job. I don't know if he can find one because he has so many health issues. He can't work a full-time job, and yeah, he needs... His job here is the perfect job for him because if he is sick, I can cover for him. So him calling off doesn't affect his job because I'm covering for him. So it's not like he's calling off. I'm just working that day, if that makes sense, you know? So I don't think he's going to be able to find a part-time job. Okay, no, there is. He can work for Uber, Lyft, or Uber Eats. I don't know how Grubhub works, but where you can pick what jobs you want to do, then he would be able to get that kind of a job. That's right. He's going to look into that. But I'm too young. I still need to work. And I like to work if I'm working for a company that actually treats its employees fair. But when one employee gets to do this and then you're lectured and told you have to do it a different way, and it's just a favoritism shit, no. I'm sick of it. Okay, I'll be right back. And I'm sorry I get so ranty about my work, but it's been 23 years of BS and being taken advantage of, and well, it's favors. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? Yes, they've done me 2 favors to their 500 favors. You know what I mean? So there's just times when you're like, enough is enough. And it's been enough. Whew. Oh my gosh, no wonder it's hot. I just looked at the temperature. It's 87 degrees out here. Are you kidding me? Oh, almost missed that turn again. So, yay. I think the kids have agreed that we're not putting the pool up this year. What I would like to get is one of those pools that you can lay down in. I don't need to swim. I just need to sit in water. Can I just sit in the water? One, if I lay down, it's going to be over my head. You know what kind of pool I'm talking about? You blow it out. Yeah. Okay, which way am I going? Oh, I'm going this way. So, yep, that was basically my weekend. So yesterday, me and John got to spend the day together. It felt like we were in quarantine all over again. Which, let me tell you, I think that's another reason why it's pushing me and John to find different jobs, is because for the last... I'm so bad with time. Okay, so this is Becca's 4th year of college. So I would say for the last 5 years, maybe 6 years, me and John have not had a day off together except for when we went on the cruise. Because he works the weekends, I work the weekdays. So if I'm not at the shop, he's at the shop. Now just think about this. So, my husband, when he's at work, likes to call me. Now it's my day off, right? Call me at home and bitch about work or tell me what's going on at work. I never get to get away from work because my husband brings it in on my days off. And then we fight. because he doesn't understand why I'm upset that he's talking about work. When you're on your day off, you don't want to think about work. So, whatever. So, I think having the quarantine, stay at home, whatever you want to call it, me and John got to spend a lot of time together. Now, we've realized that we do need breaks from each other, but that we do miss having those full days of doing things together and not having to wait for this person to get off work or that person to get off work. And to not have to think about it was amazing. Because even when I was on the cruise, I was still thinking about work, because what if the person who was covering me wasn't doing a good job? What am I coming back to? Always had that thought in the back of my head at least 4 times a day. The minimum 4 times a day. You know what I'm saying? So when we were on quarantine, don't even have to worry about thrifties whatsoever. It was amazing. And then I think what really pissed me off too is we opened up a week before Mother's Day week started. So basically it was 2 weeks before the actual day of Mother's Day. Well, 3 weeks before that, I was like telling the kids, oh my gosh, because we already knew that we had quarantine until May 12th. Mother's Day was May 10th. So, telling the kids, oh my gosh, this will be the first Mother's Day that I don't have to work Mother's Day. And then to be slapped in the face that they lied to say that they were a nursery so they were able to open up, you know? It's just like, it's BS. And how they are trying to strong arm certain people to come back to work. I don't know how your states are working it, but our state works. If you are, did someone just honk? That just turned green. I hate that. Let me take my foot off the damn pedal, please. Well, my foot was off the pedal. I was pushing the gas when they were honking. That's ridiculous. Yeah, a little venti. I'm venti today. So, okay, yeah, the stay-at-home order. If you or someone you are taking care of, if you've been exposed or positive to the coronavirus, you have to be quarantined for 14 days after the last symptom. After being, I think if you get a positive test and then you go back and get a negative test, then 14 days after that negative test, you can go back to work. So now if someone in your household, it's like you have the positive test, you're still in quarantine because you're still exposed to them. So you have to wait until they have a negative test, then the 14 days start. Got it? Okay. So that protects those people, which there's only one person in our company that I know of is protected by that. Then the second protection is supposed to be if you are seriously severe, what is it? Me and John, whatever we're called. We're the immune compromised, I think is what it's called. If we have underlying health issues, we're supposed to be covered with that. Then the next one is if you have children under the age of 18 and are enrolled in school because of homeschooling, you're covered. They cannot force you to go back to work. Well, my company is trying to strong arm them back open. So everyone has to come back to work. Yeah. Okay, we're getting off the subject of work, and I'm going to try not to bring it up for a while. Because, as you can tell, it just irritates me, and the only thing I have to keep saying in my head is, you're paying your bills off. You're paying your bills off. You're working for a purpose. So, yeah. Which sucks because we are so, I don't know what it's called, goal-orientated right now. We have a purpose, which, trust me, I don't need any more diamond paintings. I don't need any more crafting, coloring supplies. I have markers, pencils, coloring books, gel pens. I don't need another one, which I did just buy another one. It's all John's and Laura's fault, though. Laura Law, it's her fault. She's the one who sent me the link. And I was like, oh, John, these are cool. And he's like, you should get those for yourself. And I'm like, we're on a no buy of anything right now. He's like, but those are really cool. You really need to get those for yourself. So I got them for myself. And it's their fault, not my fault. And that just happened to be after I just got off the phone from my husband doesn't have to work Sundays anymore. Talk. Yay. So, and I have enough craft stitching, craft stitching, I just made up a word. Would you like to come craft stitch with me? Cross stitching. So, right now is the perfect time to hyper focus on just the bills because, and like I told John, I said, do you really need a new camera? He has like 20 cameras. Now, mind you, which I'm so glad we had this conversation because now I feel a lot better. I thought each camera was like $200, $300 because he buys them off of eBay, and he says the most he's ever paid for a camera was $65. Most of them are usually between 30 and 40. Now, still, 40 times 20 is a lot of money. You know? Once you add the shipping and then you have to buy the SD card, because it seems like none of these cameras take the same SD card. They're so old that they only can have this one SD card. It's just like ridiculous. So he's always constantly ordering SD cards. But he's realized that he doesn't need to buy any more toys right now. Our main goal is to get me a new car, but we want to have all of our credit cards paid off before we can do that. And even with paying off all the credit cards and me getting a different job, even if I had to go flip burgers at McDonald's, which the sad part is we'd probably be treated better than at this job, and I would be able to pay my bills and the car payment. So we're reducing the debt to be able to better our lives and me get a new car. So, which I'm proud of us. We've already paid off 4 cars. We have another. Okay, we're talking loans too, you know, like loans, you know. I think we have another 8 to go. So, yay. Okay, now let's finally get to crafty talking. Shoot, I don't think I might have to do any more clips throughout the week. I will. I'll do little ones. You'll basically ride to work with me, and I'll tell you what I did the night before or the day before. You know, after we get off of here, then whatever happens until the next time I see ya, if that makes more sense. So I don't know what day I started it. I want to say Friday, but it could have been Thursday. I'm not. Oh, it was Saturday. I started it Saturday. That's right, because I was talking to the girls. Because the first part of the morning, I reorganized. Yes, Miss Coffee, there's your favorite word. I was organizing, and I was organizing when I was on the phone with the girls. That's a big no-no. But I found my extra Q-Snap, and I put the hot air balloons on the Q-Snap and started it Saturday. That's why I remember I started it Saturday. Now, I'm very disappointed. And I'm thinking about just having Becca, because she's getting to be very good at making cross-stitch patterns. I think I'm going to have Becca just make me a hot air balloon cross-stitch pattern, because this one is the PDF from the magazine. I have checked at least 20 other cross-stitch patterns I want to do from this subscription in the magazine. It's over, I think, 5 different magazines. This is the only one that I cannot read the symbols. They are so blurry. It is so hard. And there's sometimes where I have to give Becca a copy, me a copy, and we try to both figure it out. She reads it, and I have to try to remember, what is what. Now, Kel, she gets the hard copy, and she was nice enough to send me pictures, but they're not in the order of, it's very hard to find which balloon I'm working on, and the one balloon I'm working on is so big that she can't get it all in the same shot, so it's like pieced, and I appreciate so much her taking pictures for me, and I can't mark off on the pictures what I've done, so it's very hard to go back from the picture to the PDF file where I can mark it off. And I know some of you are saying, well, why didn't you just print out the PDF and work from a hard copy? I did. You cannot read the symbols whatsoever on the hard copy. It's ridiculous. So, I'm thinking about just finishing the one balloon and then seeing if Becca can kind of create me a cross-stitch pattern to do the rest. Now, I'm not going to copy what they have, because that wouldn't be right. But I have a lot of pictures of hot air balloons, because I don't know what city it is, but me and my friend went out one year to the hot air balloon, I don't know what it was, festival, I think it was what it was called. And yeah, I have tons of pictures of all different kinds of balloons, so it wouldn't be hard to give her some pictures. And of course she's creative too, where she can make up her own patterns. But there's classic ones like the squares. The one that I'm working on is stripes. Yeah, there's all different kinds of hot air balloons in different colors and stuff. But I'm thinking of having her, and then I'll have her make me a little village underneath, because that's what this picture is there's like this village with the hot air balloons going over it. Well, I'm not going to make it the same village, but I'm using the concept, but using my own patterns. So, we'll see. But yeah, I've decided last night I can't torture myself anymore and try to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's just, it's taking too much time, and I'm getting frustrated, and I'm almost to the point where I'm just like, screw it, I don't even want to do this. So that's why I came up with I'm going to finish this balloon. This balloon will probably take me another 3 days to finish. Hopefully only 2, but let's be honest, let's say 3, because I've noticed something too with myself. Giving myself time limits, I overestimate what I can do, or I overestimate. So when I say 2 days, it really takes me 3 days, and then I get bummed out that it took me 3 days. So then I get, well, I'm not even going to craft this week, you know? But not knowing that I'm doing that, you know? Until you sit back and you're like, shoot, I haven't picked up my cross-stitching since blah blah. And it's like, oh yeah, remember, because you were pissy, but you didn't know at the time you were pissy about it. That would be how I react to things. Tell me if you're like that. Oh, Johnny's calling. Okay, y'all, last clip. Okay, and I apologize for it being so ranty today. Well, this week, but yeah. I've been, and don't mind the noise in the background, Becca's doing dishes. I forgot to take you guys today. And this week has just been a hell week. So, yeah, let's get this last clip. All I'm going to show you is my coloring pages that I have done. And now that I'm looking at it, it was probably for the last like 3 weeks. Maybe even the last month. I haven't been showing you guys stuff because, see my little arrow? That tells me when this is the last one you guys have seen. So, let's get through these. I love, love, love how this turned out. This has to be one of my favorite ones. I only used 4 colors. It was supposed to be only 3, but I messed up somehow. And I think this is actually this one, but this was the small pen and this was the large pen. So, yeah. It's supposed to be 3 colors, but it's really 4 because it didn't match. But I picked out, so I picked out the small pen and the large pen of each pen, marker. So yeah, this was my Sharpies, or it was my Bics. No, this was my Bics because I haven't had my Sharpies yet. So I went out and bought Sharpies. And I'm sorry for the angle. Like I said, we're going to have shadows, but I'm trying. Johnny's watching his ghost stuff. So I'm in my bedroom, and we all know the struggle I have in the bedroom with my light. I love how the sunflowers turned out on this one. I was really enjoying coloring, and then I realized when I colored, then my elbow hurts, so I color and have to take off some time of coloring. So yeah. I love how the basket turned out, and I love my flowers too. And I remember I started this one in Alive, and I couldn't remember what these flowers were called. I knew it, but it wasn't. I was like so lost. They're gladiolas. This gave it away. That is a glad top. When you get gladiolas, you're supposed to snap that off so all the blooms will bloom. Little trick for you there. Sorry, I'm holding the camera too, so. Oh my gosh, this looks so much better in the camera than it does in real life. This pink, oh my god, I'm loving it. Loving it. I still need to go get one of those things that you can put, my shop uses them for signs to tell you when things are 50% off. They'll put a sign in it, but it stands on your desk and you can display your artwork for a while. And I really need to do that because I would like to display. I didn't like how this one turned out. Too many colors. Yeah. I like some points of it, but other points, yeah. But I wanted to do a mixture of colors and stuff, and that's what I got. But I don't like the final project of it at all. That one was okay. It wasn't my favorite one to do at all. It was more of a pain in the butt. But I love this one. This was really fun to do. And then the last one is this one. I don't like how it turned out. Especially, I think it's this that really throws it off. I don't know. I don't like it. So, little updates. Here, we'll focus. Let's find the good one. We like that one. Let's focus on this. Ooh, not that one. Okay. So, couple of updates. Oh, I'm not going to show you. I didn't work on any diamond paintings. And I did start working on cross stitch finally. But tomorrow I plan on doing a stitchy time video. So no use in showing you the stitchy time now because the stitchy time will be in the stitchy time video, right? Right. Good news, they did hire another driver for the other hub. So today was my first day not having to do it, which thank God. There was 28 deliveries. I had to call John in. It was a big old hot mess, but it was just a lot of stress. Nothing. We got done. It's what? 3 something here. I don't have a clock around me. Maybe it's 4. I don't know. But yeah, I know it's not even 5 o'clock yet. So I'm home. I'm relaxing. Johnny's in the living room. I'm in my bedroom. Rachel's gonna be going on live soon, so I'm gonna hop on that. So I think that was 4 o'clock. So yeah, it has to be like 3 something now. Yeah. Sorry. I was very cussy and ranty in this video, but yeah, I just apologize. Hopefully next one will be me back to normal because things are starting to get back to normal around here. So that's one good thing. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you got to the end of the video, tell me which one of these coloring pages was your favorite. Or if you're too lazy to do that, just put a smiley face so I know you made it to the end. Okay guys, have a great week and I will see you next week. Bye guys.